Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost a week into the season and we're almost done with Open Great League here. But I decided I wanted to showcase a toxic team for y'all. It's going to be a Bastiodon team. It's basically going to be the same premise of the team that came along after Grasshole like four seasons ago. So it's going to be Bastiodon in the front with Wigglytuff and Annihilape in the back. Annihilape is going to be your safe swap usually. But then again, it's all about winning switch and two-shielding through things, and you can do that with Annihilape, you can do that with Wigglytuff, you can do that with Bastiodon. Try to find your place somewhere in there, and you'll do well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. But first, if you haven't, definitely wanted to shout out everyone showing me so much love on the channel. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's get into it. All right. Greninja lead here. I think I have the movesets here on the left side, but I think in this first matchup, I totally forgot to switch moves. But we'll see if that's true or not. So I do switch into the Annihilape here, into the Greninja. Then they switch into a what's it called? A fairy type, Carbink. And that's not really like a hard answer to Annihilape, but Annihilape is just going to ram through this. It is still a rock type at the end of the day as well as a fairy type, so we're going to be doing neutral counter damage. And although counter was nerfed this season, or technically it was nerfed last season, we're still able to just get all the way through this. Yes, we've burned 2 shields, but we've now flipped switch. Greninja is going to get absolutely devastated by the Wigglytuff, and we're 2 times buffed on this Rage Fist here. So even though it is a normal type, I'm still going to be throwing the Rage Fist into it to get my counter damage up. Plus, I thought maybe they think I'm throwing close combat, but yeah, they do throw Body Slam here, which technically we double resist, and we do resist these rollouts as well. So now we're just doing a ton of fast attack damage. And I stay in just to do 1 counter, and it did like 20% of this Greninja's HP. And then it just gets charmed down, so GG there. All right, Toxapex lead, not bad for me. I could go into Annihilape here, but you're very scared as Annihilape against the Rage Fist, because it's going to be super effective against you. And yes, close combat ends up doing like close to 65% to Wigglytuff, and then all the karate chops bringing it down to like 75% damage. But I'd rather take that on Wigglytuff and just basically 4-shot it with Charm and do a little bit of damage with Swift here. Oh, I guess this wasn't the game where I... Oh, wait. In that first matchup, I'm pretty sure my Wigglytuff did not have Swift on it, but... Alright. And then they have Pangoro in the back, and even though this is a neutral Night Slash, it's not going to be enough. I'm just dealing super effective counter damage, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to find out if I win CMP, and you do not. So good information for y'all to know. I got hit basically just to learn that, but it's going to be basically GG here in this one. I can even get another Rage Fist off, which is going to take the shield. I can 2-shield Bastiodon. I can farm it. No, I'm not going to farm it all the way down, but I can get to 2 Stone Edges, and that'll be GG. Now, technically, you can't get to back-to-back on Bastiodon here, so I'm just going to throw, at some point, an odd number of Stone Edges, and then throw it into this Toxapex, because it is using 2-turn move, and we're using a 3-turn move, so you want to throw an odd timing. But yeah. I don't even think I need to shield this next one. I think I end up not shielding it just because I know that I don't have to, and I want to keep this 2-shield flex going as long as possible. And I think I'm 1 away from the Stone Edge here. If I wasn't, maybe I'd try to catch... I mean, at the end of the day, the Poison Fang... Or the fast Poison Jab is... It's Poison Sting. Alright. Toxapex here, obviously this is really good for us. I haven't seen a Toxapex in quite a while, especially since Wigglytuff became the main focus here. They end up coming in with a Gyarados, but we're going to switch into Wigglytuff here. They can throw Aqua Tails into us, and technically Waterfall is the way to go if you want to be good against the Charmers, but I'm going to let it roll off. Ends up being a Crunch. I mean, unless they're trying to lower our defense... Definitely not the move they should go for, unless they could technically be going for a, like, Hydro Pump, something like that. or maybe they have a Hydro Pump is what I mean as their secondary move, so they can't actually go for the Aqua Tail. I don't know. But they do come in with Talonflame, and this team's just triple weak to Bastiodon. To be fair, there's so little Bastiodon in this meta. I don't know. I have run into Bastiodon before for sure, but it is very rare. There's a lot of fighters nowadays with Primeape and Annihilape. There's Clodsire. There's Dunsparce. There's what else is there? There's a ton of Watermons as well, Feraligatr included. Gastrodon, another big just Marowak, Kanto Marowak. Either way, Bastiodon is not in the best place ever in this meta, but you will find people that are so weak to this mon trying to prey on the ground types. So you can prey on them, and it's an endless cycle of circle of life, I guess. I ended up going for, well, I lagged if you look in the top left corner, so I thought that I threw the move after 1, but it looks like I threw it after 2, which means that we ended up seeing peeing. I was trying to throw it before they got to their next move, but either way, we're going to be able to farm it down. We're not in range to get like KO'd or anything, so no big losses here. Ends up being a Medicham in the back. I have actually seen an uptick in Medicham, and I'm so scared of Psychic now after getting Psychicked one time. But no one really has Psychic, which is crazy because the one time I did not shield, I think this was like 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 videos back, a Medicham was able to Psychic me because I was like, there's absolutely no way. People are running Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch for the coverage with Psycho Cut as the fast attack, but they end up coming back. They end up coming in with the Toxapex, and it does seem like they are throwing the Brine here, which, I mean, it is neutral, but it means we're also going to survive this. So they're not going to farm me down, and I can throw. I can CMP on the next one if the counters don't just KO it in general, which they do. And I'm 2 times buffed. They end up coming back in with a Medicham. This is a huge move, so they're probably going to end up shielding this. It's their last mon, so I end up switching into Wigglytuff here and just take it out. And I've already seen the Ice Punch, and I don't die to like, this guy had Psychic as well. That's crazy. Psychic has been double nerfed in the last 6 seasons, so it's crazy. Another Medicham. It's crazy to see that. They end up coming in with a Skarmory. Skarmory also having the nerf to Steel Wing. But we end up going for a CMP here. If they shield, we'll obviously shield and then just counter through this. We're 2 times buffed at this point, so I'm perfectly willing to use a shield now. If they end up coming in with like the Medicham, they're going to be absolutely destroyed. I assume they don't have a very hard counter if they came in with Skarmory. It looks like they end up having a Swampert here. I'm so far ahead in energy that I'm able to throw this. This is 3 times buffed. I could let this go at this point as well. It's kind of a Wigglytuff world out there at this point, so Wigglytuff going to be able to just tough out these matchups. And that's GG. All right, Licky Licky. This is a fine matchup. We resist the rollout. We resist Body Slam. The only thing we have to worry about is a possible Earthquake, and they actually end up catching here on Jellicent, which is a bit awkward for both of us. I didn't know exactly what I was going to go into, but technically this does have Ghost-type moves. It has Hex and possibly Shadow Ball. So we double resist that being a normal type on Wigglytuff here. They do end up having Surf, but 2 aren't going to KO us, and we get through it. Also, we're going to be able to move here, so I just end up throwing the Swift. Because I was like, maybe I can get to 2 moves. It is super effective, or not super effective. It is Stabs, same type attack bonus, because we are a normal type as well. They end up having Hyper Beam Licky. I think I've seen every type of Licky Licky this season. I've definitely been Solar Beamed. I've definitely Solar Beamed people. I've been Earthquaked. And now I've been Hyper Beamed. And Body Slam. Are there any other charge moves this thing can learn? I don't think so off the top of my head. But those are all the moves that I've been hit by. So we're ahead on energy here in this Annihilape matchup. So I always get to throw 1 after. Which means I can always get the shield whenever I want, and I can also shield through everything and try to counter down at the end of the day, which I'm probably going to be able to. They end up trying to catch on Licky Licky, But they just don't have enough health on either of these Mon to do anything against Annihilape. It's just going to run through it. All right, Mandibuzz into Diggersby. So this is obviously some sort of bulk team. If I was to guess, I would think maybe Azu in the back. Could be Gastrodon, though. Could be maybe Kanto Marowak as well. So we'll see. Diggersby, if they decide to shield here, I'll just shield as well. They do have Quick Attack, which is normal. It's going to be double resisted by the Ghost typing of Annihilape here. So I just have to worry about the moves. And I did double debuff myself, so they are able to very easily throw the Fire Punch here because while it wouldn't normally KO from that range, it is going to KO because I don't have any more... I have 2 times lower defense. Now I have 4 times lower defense. Luckily, we do 2 times resist Quick Attack. They do end up switching. But I'm going to gain some energy before switching back into the Bastiodon because this is such a dominant matchup that I just wanted to gain a little bit of energy. And even though we are 4 times reduced on defense on the Annihilape, Mandibuzz has no fast attack pressure with Snarl. So I was able to get a lot of that energy back, which puts me just so far ahead of this guy. I can even let another Dark Pulse roll off here, and I'll be at 100 energy now. And I don't think a Stone Edge will KO from here. Mandibuzz is very bulky. I do want to make sure I do throw, though, instead of trying to go for some sort of farm down, because their clock is misaligned with mine and probably is good now. They end up having more Pekko in the back. A close combat amongst friends is enough to KO. And yeah, he never gets to see my last one. All right, Talonflame lead, super good. They end up coming in with Gastrodon. I do end up switching into Annihilape here. I think purely off of... I have to shield this. Trying to ramp and go into the Talonflame. I just figure if you have a Talonflame lead that is so good against Wigglytuff, I feel like Wigglytuff is going to be the best Mon in the back. Whereas... Annihilape would probably just be a neutral matchup because it isn't even the most dominant matchup for Talonflame, as it is... I don't need the shield for Bastiodon against Talonflame. It's double super effective with the smackdowns because of the fire and flying type. And then I want to throw this before that Incinerate hits just in case it KOs me, which I believe it did. They're out of energy and pretty... It would have been fine with me either way to shield through the middle matchup. It was going to be GG either way. Machamp is going to get destroyed by Annihilape and Wigglytuff, so... Annihilape resists every charge move and fast attack for Machamp. And they ended up leaving, so I'm just going to fast attack them down and be done with it. Okay, Corsola. This is the very first one I believe I'm facing. So... we're about to see the power. I know it learns Nightshade and Power Gem, I believe. And it has Astonish as its fast attack. It is a very bulky Mon, although we kind of got through that. Oh, I think this was a really weird one, though. I feel like they started going Power Gem here. Oh, it's Rock Blast. That's weird. Nightshade would have definitely been enough. And they actually win CMP, which is crazy because... well, I guess they're both level 50 Mon, so Corsola must have a higher attack stat. Or they're running a higher attack weighted one because they didn't have the XLs to complete that. Either way, they end up coming in with the Dragalge here. I can't really come in with... I can't really like save swap and allow them not to farm, but luckily they do end up throwing. It's a shiny Dragalge, actually. Was it a shiny Corsola? They end up coming in with Tropius here, and I just switched right away because that matchup for Annihilape against Dragalge is just so weak. I think Dragalge did get buffed this season, but I don't know what the buffs were. You guys can let me know, or I guess this matchup's going to take so long, I can scroll through the changes here real quick. I do remember it getting some sort of change. Maybe it didn't. Oh, Dragalge learned... has the ability to learn Focus Blast. So that's good to know. I did not know that in that matchup, but this is fine. I have a 1 shield advantage now through the Tropius. I'll probably end up shielding the Tropius unless it lets me get to the move. I guess I knew the timing when I did play the game, but not keeping track of that while talking during this video, though. I do have to shield this. It does know Aqua Tail. We've already seen it through the Bastiodon matchup. But I should make it to the Swift before they make it to another Aquatail, and that'll be GG. Actually, a lot of energy gained through this Wigglytuff, just able to get to the Swift, 2 Swifts in 2 different matchups there. All right, but Barrel, not a great matchup for me in the lead here. I do end up switching into Annihilape. I technically go up to the Ice Punch here, but no way is anyone running Ice Punch. They can throw before me, and it might not KO. This is very... Oh, Jumpluff went for Energy Ball. I wonder if it has Acrobatics and he just doesn't want to show me. Or, yeah, and he wants to go for the Farm Down. If this Energy Ball, again, it's 100% Acrobatics and he just didn't want to do it. Weird. Alright. Well, going to be able to farm it down here before they get to another one just because they were going for the very high energy moves there. Well, we will see... what's in the back of this Barrel. I'm going to shield this. They are at technically a Hyper Fang here. We do notice that it does not have return, as it's not a purified mon. You don't see that white shadow around it. I'm going to go for all shields here, and I kind of just want to get to that last mon and Icy Wind it, and then it's going to be forever debuffed here. Ends up being a fighter anyways. It's going to be the Primeape with 2 shields. Tough for them. I mean, when you are running something like Primeape or Annihilape, it is very common to want... Okay, I was like, does a second close combat KO me? Hopefully not. Hopefully I was recording this. Okay, yeah, I was. I was going to say, it's a very common strategy if you're running something like Annihilape or Primeape, just because they have the moves that can buff them. And the big moves where if they use it, they'll lower the defense. The whole thing is you want to have like this huge advantage and just use your 1 mon to go through 2 or 3 mon after taking their shields or taking out the bad matchups for them. So it makes a lot of sense that they left it to the end, but just unlucky for them that we did have Wigglytuff in the back there. Anyways, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't, definitely subscribe to the channel. Also, not being like, this is not an ad or anything, but I just finished Arcane on Netflix, and if you are, I believe it's in more than just America, but if you have access to that, definitely check it out. It is so good. I just finished season 2. Just been so busy with work, haven't been able to watch it. I know it's already been out for like several weeks, maybe even a month at this point, but awesome. Catch you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.